Hello everyone, it's Jessica with another layout for the ThermOWeb design team. Today I'm using the new Color Harmony Deco Foil multi-packs, and I'm using the shades of green to create this beautiful mixed media background for my scrapbook layout. So I'm starting off with some various Shimmerz paints that I have here in these pots. I'm just adding a little bit of water to activate them, and I'm just going to use some packaging to actually apply this to my background here. I've got a piece of black mixed media foundations paper by Vicki Boutin. This is the black one. She also makes a white one. It's just basically a thicker cardstock that'll hold up to my mixed media and any wet mediums that I want to place on this. So I'm just using the packaging technique. So I'm taking a sheet of clear acetate and just putting some of the product directly onto that, and then just smushing it around on my black cardstock. So I'm going to be doing this in some various colors here. I've pulled out, I think, like 5 or 6 different colors that I'm using today in some various shades. I want to create basically like a nice fishy background. I have a photo that I'm going to use today that's a picture of my husband and my son, and he's teaching him how to fish. So I am just creating a nice, kind of like a scene. So I wanted to have this kind of look like water at the bottom with a nice little fish scene, and then I'm going to create some foiled fish on top of all of this mixed media. So what I'm doing here is I am just layering all of my colors. I'm not particular about letting them dry in between because I do want them to blend together a little bit. So I'm just using the packaging and all of the various colors to just create multi-shade of mixed media. So again, I'm just watering these pots down to activate them. Some of these are really thick. The Iklingz especially are very thick. So you have to add water to actually activate them and soften them up so you can use them. And then this one here, as you can see, I think this is the Jilted Jade shade that I just love so much. I actually just kind of dumped it right onto my layouts because I knew I wanted that color all over. So then it allowed me to smush it in place. I'm actually adding some splatters as I go, just flicking it on with my paintbrush as well. It kind of creates a little bit of a marbled effect, and it adds to that mixed media. My water there is getting pretty green, as you can see from all those various shades of green. So I'm just going to continue building this up. I'm going to add a little bit of this color as well. It's kind of a more browner shade. And then there's a teal one that I add as well. This is Minor 49er. I'm going to use that to add some gold splatters here in a moment. I'm not going to add it until I think after I do my stenciling though. So I think I end up putting it away right now, but I'm going to add this one in. I think one of these is the shades of teal. And just flicking on some more splatters here. I'm going to also grab some white. I want to add some white in here just to break it up a little bit and create more of a marbly effect. So I am going to add that here in a moment. I'm just going to change my water out though because that was getting pretty dark. So now that I've got some nice clean water, I can clean up my space a little bit here and get all those drippers off of my desk. I am using the Tim Holtz glass mat, which is a nice platform for when you're doing mixed media because you can just make a whole entire mess on your station here and it just wipes right off. So here I'm just adding a little bit more splattering. I'm going to close these pots up and set them aside and wait for this to dry a little bit. And then I'm going to grab my white paint color here so that I can do some white splatters. So after I laid that aside to dry, I pulled it back over and now I'm going to do my stenciling here using some pixie tape and the Stencil by Echo Park. I've pulled out my Deco Foil Duo Gel, Transfer Gel, and I'm just using my pixie tape here to tape down my stencil so that it's not going to move around too much as I go. I'm just going to use a regular spatula today just to apply this. I'm not pulling up my stencil pal like I normally would, just for sake of these fish being so small, and the stencil pal does create a really smooth texture, which would have been really great, but I honestly didn't feel like digging for it in my bin, so I just grabbed my little palette knife here and I'm just applying the Duo Gel directly across my stencil and just careful of exactly where I wanted the fish to go. So I've got that all applied now. I'm just cleaning up the little marks here from the excess, and I'm putting the rest back in the pot. I'm gonna rinse off my stencil and my little stencil palette knife immediately right now. That way it doesn't dry on there. I'm pulling out some of the papers from the Simple Vintage Lakeside collection by Simple Stories, which is what I'm going to be using for the rest of this layout. So I have some easy tear tape here that I'm going to use to apply my matting to my photo. So I'm just matting it with some black cardstock, and then I am going to cut that excess off, and then I'll mat it again using one of these patterned pieces of paper from the smaller paper pad from this collection. I do have a bit of trouble peeling off the backing from this tape because I just got my nails done and they're a lot thicker than what I'm used to when I do them myself. So I had kind of struggle a little bit, but I used my tweezers in some of them and it works okay to peel them off then. So I wanted to create like a sunburst on the top side of my scene. Here I'm just showing you my little fish. All that Deco foil duo gel is now dry. It dries clear. The Blanco gel dries white, but I just used the clear one since it was within my grasp today. And I'm using all 4 of the color foils in the pack from the shades of green. So I really love this one that's kind of a stripy shade. And I wanted to create kind of, I shouldn't say like an ombre effect because it's not really ombre, but I just wanted all different colored fish. So I'm just using them in little sections. I'm not concentrating on each individual fish, but I'm also not concentrating on covering the entire fish with each color. So I'm just breaking them up. Some of the fish are only half colored in certain colors, and then they blend out to the other color, which I really, really love. So I'm just creating kind of a collage with all of these 4 colors of foils. Then I'm going to run that through my hot laminating machine, which is sitting over here on the other side of my room, and it's heating up now. So once I get all of these applied and on here, they kind of stick a little bit because the Deco foil duo gel is a little bit tacky when it dries. And then here it has come out of my laminating machine when it was all sandwiched between my craft and carrier sheets. So it's all foiled, all that mixed media is nice and dry, everything's good to go. I accidentally didn't turn my camera back on when I was doing the sun rays, so I have here all of my sun rays are already attached, and now I'm just reading through my embellishments and seeing what I want to add to finish this off. The adhesives that I'm using today are going to be alternating between the Ultra Bond liquid adhesive as it dries clear and it's nice for those smaller embellishments. I'm going to use some 3D foam squares by Gina K in the 1/2 inch size and the 1/4 inch size to pop up some of these fish. And then I'm going to use my tape runner for some of this, and I've also used the Easy Tear tape for my photo layers. So here is my finished layout. As always, if you guys have any questions, list them in the comments below for me and I will do my best to answer. And I'll link everything below in the description for you in case you want to grab anything from the shop, especially these beautiful new packs of the Color Harmony foils. They come in various shades, so there's lots to choose from. Thank you guys so much for watching and have a great day. Bye-bye.